everybody. Hi. Terry Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer right here. How you doing? How you doing? And I got to tell you, I know this is Ask Me Anything Friday. That's number one, where you can ask me all of your burning questions, and I hope you will. Today will be a short, um, short for me, probably about an hour. Forgive me, maybe a little bit more. But not more. At 11 o'clock, I have to skitter away because I am preparing for tomorrow's event. What event, say you? Well, I will tell you, I am being honored as a Disney legend by a national, international fan club organization known as the Disneyana Fan Club. And I'm happy to say I'm joined by the amazing Kim Irvine. It's going to be a really fun time to get honored as Disney legends at a dinner that's happening tomorrow night. If that was the only thing that was happening, yippee-ki-yay, that would be lovely. But, and it is what's on my mind. But honestly, there's also, I'm doing a presentation at 10:15 in the morning, and I live a little bit away from Anaheim. I'm about an hour out, which means we're going to have to get up early. We're going to have to set up AV, make sure things are working so you can see my pictures and hear my stories properly. And I'm kicking it right off at 10:15, followed by Bob Gurr and then Garner Holt. It's a great action-packed day. You might still be able to get in if you want, but the dinner is something you're going to have to ask about when you get there if you want to go. Okay, DisneyAnaFanClub.com, and you can reach out to them and see if you can go. The show and sale, however, is Sunday. I will be there too. And that's where the shakeup happens, is that I've got to get ready for the show and sale because the Cheshire Cats, the cat's out of the bag and they're ready to be purchased. The Cheshire Cat is waiting to be adopted. And forgive me, this is how crazy it is. I'm grabbing my breakfast, everything. So much to do. I hope I get sleep. So, a short one. That's the first thing, and the very first and foremost thing I wanted to tell you. And then I had to do a follow-up to this comic book day, this free comic book day. Couldn't believe how many people on Monday went absolutely gaga over this live on Monday. Lots of questions, lots of comments, lots of help about what to do. And then lots of people going, wow, you sounded really enthusiastic about comic book day, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I am. And I've learned some more. So I thought I'd share with you the funny part, the weird part, and another good part. And then we'll go to your questions until I have to go. Okay, I promise I won't take it up too much. But the first thing I want to show you is my little cat. My little Cheshire, here he is. He's going to be available to you. There he is right there. You can come and check him out right at the show. I will have them for sale there. You no longer have to pre-order it. He's here. You can buy him right there. Okay. I've got several people coming to pick theirs up. They're the cats that they've adopted. And you'll really love the cat box. That's the way my husband calls it. And then you can let the cat out of the bag and see how lovely he truly, truly is. So I hope you come and see him. If you're coming to the Disneyana show and sale that Sunday, go to their website, DisneyanaFanClub.org. They have a coupon for $1 off if you decide you want to go. Collectors selling to collectors. So that's why it's such a great show, because they usually can tell you the history of the piece, where they got the piece, why they collected the piece, just some story information. Like you say, where is this from? A lot of times they know. I'm not going to guarantee that they always know or that I always know, but that's kind of the situation. All right. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you about that. And of course, please join the Patreon page. Please be a part of our patrons today. We had a wonderful giveaway, patreon.com/Terri Hardin, where your voice needs to be heard. We help each other. I'm happy to say we helped launch a very promising potential career for someone who's been doing a lot of things as an artist, but finally he gets to make some money doing what he loves. So hopefully he'll soon make a living doing what he loves. And that's one of my things, is I can ignite that wet gunpowder for you. So I am known as Disney's legendary Imagineer, and we've only gone about 4 minutes. So let me get right into the subject matter. Okay. But do join us. $5 a month, $60 a year, less than a cup of Starbucks coffee for the most part. It really is worth it. It really is worth it. And I'm not saying it because of me. I'm saying it because of all of you. My group is amazing and they're so generous and they help people at every turn. And oh my goodness, it's fabulous. And like I said, I don't know if you can see them, but I have things in my garage and I have things that are often come my way one way or another. I won't get too detailed on it, but if I go like this, you can see behind me the hitchhiking ghosts, and below that a giant Grogu, if you can believe that. That was the drawing today. They put their names in and they got those. So it's not always that vast. Sometimes it's pins, sometimes it's whatever. So I always over deliver, but the giveaways are not the reason people come. They come for other reasons. But if that gets you in the door, feel free. Whatever gets you in the door to see how amazing this group is why I tell you about it every single time. So let's talk about comics, okay? Let's talk about this free comic book day. Why did I decide to do this? Because you guys just surprised me, and I'm very happy to be surprised. I'm very, very touched that I was surprised so easily. So we're going to use Spider-Man as our example here, okay? I want to talk to you about that really quickly. And then I want to talk about a particular group. Okay. So those of you who didn't see Monday's broadcast, let me tell you about today's broadcast. Free Comic Book Day was last Saturday. Comic book stores all over your area most likely were participating in Free Comic Book Day. What surprised me was when I walked into the stores, that was exactly what they were. Free comics. So this comic was free. This is, of course, a Marvel comic, and I was very touched by it. Now, I thought they would be nothing but ads. I thought that it was just a way for them to talk about new comic books coming out, which I didn't mind. I don't know anything about comics, so that would have been cool. But also, but they do that. Like here, look, they show you what's coming out. Okay, for those of you who feel that women aren't represented, there you go. There's a couple on the top, right? And then, but it also has an actual story, like here. And for me as an artist, I just wanted to see the art, as I mentioned on Monday. I just want to see the art. So they're talking about on this side, but on this side, there's a story. And they just amaze me. I thought they would be wafer thin, but look here. Look, just the art is amazing. And so they have their ads, okay, you know, but they have stories inside. And I'm really enjoying the art and learning. You know, this is some incredible art. Would you not agree? Of course you would, especially if you are comic book people. Plus, I love the comic book people. But here's the thing that I thought you'd be amused by. There is a comic book store called Things from Another World. And they have all kinds of things, and they're usually on City Walk. But they're closed right now. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic. I don't know if it's because, you know, what the reasoning is, but they were closed. But they were participating in Free Comic Book Day. And I was like, how is this possible that they can participate in Free Comic Book Day if they're closed? Well, then I went to their website and they said, Free Comic Book Day comics. And you could click on them and they put them in a pre-order section. Each comic book said 1 penny was the price. Okay, 1 penny. This is a true story. It didn't say free. It said 1 penny to be listed on there. So you're allowed to pick 5. I picked 5, thinking that someone wasn't managing their website. It was never going to come to me. But here's what happened. It not only, and I'm going to show you this for you guys to check this out, because this is really funny. I'm going to hide the particulars because I'm saying Things from Another World. But I just think you need to see this, guys. You'll be giggling, because I thought it was going to be baloney. I really thought they were going to write and say, sorry, we thought we were going to be open, Free Comic Book Day not available, blah blah blah. But I put them in the pre-order, and here's what they sent me. Now, I don't know if you can see this, so I'll tell you what it is. It is a list of the 5 that I chose, believing Now you only see 4 there. So I probably have another one on the top. Let's see. They only said 4. Maybe they're only going to give me 4. No, the 5th one's on the back. Okay. So there's 5, just 5th one on the back. Okay. But I want you to see the price for my free comics. Everywhere else I got free comics, right? Look at that price right there. $5.55. A magic number for me, so I'm not upset. But so the cost of the comics were 5 cents for 1 penny for each comic. And then the shipping was $5.50. That's right, folks. $5.50. And the tax on the, not the 5 cents, but the $5.50 for a grand total of $5.55 for my free comic book. So the lesson to be learned here is if the company is closed like Things from Another World and you're thinking you might pre-order your comics, don't. Just don't. Because this cost me $5, $5, in fact, to get free comics that I pretty much already have because I walked in the store, grabbed them, and left. Now, there is gas from going from comic book to comic book, but let me talk to you about that, okay? There's also the people within. And as I said on Monday, one of the things that's really special, the big surprise for me with Free Comic Book Day, is meeting all of the comic book people. Each comic book store is different, and each comic book store is friendly, lovely, outgoing people, each having comic books that suit them. So it's like touring. It's like the food and wine at California Adventure or Epcot. You're going from place to sample their taste in comic books. All right. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to share with you about Comic Book Day that I felt was very, very, very important was I picked up this catalog, this price guide. Okay. And remember, well, on Monday, I talked about this price guide. Well, I went ahead, I got a clue, and I said, let's buy the new one. Doesn't come out until July, but I bought the old one. I found it on Amazon. Nice little deal. And what it taught me first is paperback really is nice. I don't know that I ordered the other one in hardback, but I'm going to reach out to them and ask them if I can shift it to a paperback, because the paperback lies flat and is easy to you can see how small this type is. Okay. But they have pictures up top, and they talk and they do it in sections. If you're someone out there and you're asking the question, where could I sell my comic books? Let's just open it to the first few pages. Buying. The first and still the best. And the results. Buying. We want your comics. Oh, goodness. We'll take them. We'll take them. So now, instead of being someone, where can I sell them? Now, consign today. Now you're going to have to say is who, what, when would be a good person to get together to sell these with. And that's what I said. I mean, this is easily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a double. So 7, 8, 9, about 10, 11. But what I'm saying is a lot of people that are saying to you, we will help you with your collection. We're very reliable. And if you get in the middle, you're wanted. Super. I'm telling you guys, this is amazing. Now you have more than just a couple choices. You've got a ton of choices inside this thing, which is thick. Look how thick it is. And if you look at the top, the front is kind of articles and things and what's coming and stuff. And then this section here, let me just go like that, is the comic book A to Z kind of section. All right. Now, as I was looking through this, and this is why I want to share this with you, because I had a lot of people reach out to me and go, now I know where I might sell my comics. Now I know where I might get comic book advice. People actually said, thank you. I really, really appreciate this. This one talks about a consignment service. They all are telling you about, you know, they're nice and reliable. And now some of them are advisors to the comic book price guide. So again, you got to do your due diligence. Make sure you're not going to get took. But it sounds like this is a great place to start. So then this one talks about original comic art. So if you're someone, you've got them talking to you about where you can buy, talking to you about how they sell, talking about why they sell, how fun it is. They're mobile friendly. This one is all about being mobile friendly. This one decided to get into the art level, so it shows you what they like, but you get the picture, right? So as you're thumbing through so many of these, and then of course Vision coming this fall, these are action figures. And if you're someone who wants to get into the toy business, you might be able to find out who's supplying said action figures here in this book. So it's got a lot more going on than just ads. Just understand that this is really cool. Then they have the Hall of Fame, where they talk about individuals who have done great contributions to comic book art. And remember, this is the old book. The 51, 52 comes out in July. So you can wait for July if you want. But here's the Hall of Fame. Here are ones that are Hall of Famers, issues that are Hall of Famers. Black Panther #1 came out July 98. John Wick 2018, #1. Nighthawk #2. And what they'll tell you is the question quarterly, which I had no idea what's that. 3. They're not. Here's Deathstroke 11. So it's not necessarily all #1s, which I'm learning. Okay. And it's about, is it Denise Cowan or Cohen? Anyway, these are hers. Okay. And it talks about why she's in the Hall of Fame. And then David Mack and what he did. Hall of Fame, right? Now I'm beginning to learn who these people are and what makes them special. So that's in the book as well. And we'll see the inductees for this year in July when that comes out. Then, of course, more. If you couldn't get enough then, you've got more. Okay. You've got all these people that if you do your due diligence, and Heritage has another, that's a second one for them. And I'm sure there's a second one. I mean, look how cute this one is. So I'm just saying, there's tons of this. And then this talks about this book. Now, you remember my little free comic book that I got from this company, the Overstreet Comic Book Company. I picked up their guide to comic book collecting, which talked about this guide. Well, now this guy here, this is their character, and this is their illustration. You'll find that these are similar to what was in the comic book. You remember this one and the grading that I showed on Monday. If not, here's the grading. Here's the Kabuki lady talking about it. And then they just talk about, all of this and why it's a good idea. Then it says here, this is the marketing report talking about how COVID-19 caused comic conventions to have a hitch in their get along like everything else. And this talks about what the benefits were that people who thought out of the box. And they talk about comics that did very well in auctions. So you can learn all about this. And then Overstreet Advisor Award, which is going to, and it's the Verzel. I can't really spell it, but there he is on this side. And then these are the people that got and I think Tommy looks familiar to me. I don't know where he is. I haven't read about him yet, but he looks very familiar to me. So cover subjects and all kinds of cool stuff. So there's fold outs, pop outs, etc. All right. So the shocker. See, it talks about everybody in here. These are stories. So this book doesn't just, let you look up comics. It has stories about artists that you might need to know and learn. Here's a Star Wars one. TV previously obscure Star Wars characters are now in the spotlight because Mandalorian is pulling out obscure characters and doing it right. They don't say it that way. I do. But all kinds of cool ones as you go. It's just on and on and on about them and why, and maybe you can collect. And they always say, collect what you like. That's what this thing says, collect what you like. But you can see story after story after story after story. Then key sales 2020 to 2021, they talk about What comic books sold well? Action Comics #1 sold for 3,250,000. And it goes from there. Some at $80. Green Lantern #12, $80. Let's see. Marvel Comics 1, 280,000. Planet Comics 1,000. Planet Comics 34, 420. So it just is a nice, and these are golden, they break them down, golden age, silver age. I'm still learning that. Modern age, sales certificate, golden age, atom age, so those of you who are in the comics and know it. Then this says top 100, top comics. So it tells you about them and what they sold for. And the increase over here is how much they increased since the previous year. So you can get all that. I mean, isn't this amazing? This is amazing. This is amazing. I am impressed with this. More people to take care of you with your comic stuff. And then just everybody is here to help. I'm not going to say they're all good. You're going to have to be. Many say they've got really good reviews on eBay. I guess a lot of them do eBay. I thought this was cute, this guy. If you're a dog lover, you might just jump in with Superworld, right? And then this one, Monumental Holdings, they're showing you that they also have props from movies. This is from Iron Man. So there you go. Comic Heaven, Sister Rose Hard at Work, the second, and Sister Rose Hard at Work. So tells you about Comic Heaven, tells you what's special. And you see how they took a few pages out here, see? Go to our official website, contact us, visit our store, talk to these people and see how they feel to you, Then they're going to talk to you about other stuff. Big little books, okay? You've seen these big little books. Well, maybe not. Maybe you're younger. But I used to have a set of these. I might still have them. I haven't gotten through my whole garage. But they're very cute. They're only about yay big by yay big, about the size of your cell phone, but a little wider, maybe a little shorter. And just incredible. What and flew here. So let me tell you about a couple of discoveries that I had while looking through this book and pricing in here, okay, that just really surprised me, all right? Years ago when I did the San Diego Comic Book Con, when it was about comic books instead of a free-for-all for God knows what, in my opinion. Those of you who love it, congratulations. I tend to think the parties on the outside are better than the parties on the inside. But I digress. In any case, this comic book talked about free comic books. That's right. Free comic books. There is a section in here that tells you how free comic books have appreciated in value. What? That's what I said. What? And they talk about comics that used to be in newspapers and for ads. For example, I think it shows Spider-Man off doing like coffee and celebrates Dick Tracy. Oh my gosh, there's just so much stuff in here. But let me see if I can find. Yes, here we go. Here are some free. Let's see if I can find the free ones. There are comics where they sold things like Care Bears were used to sell toys, or there was a Martin Luther King comic book that sold for 10 cents originally. It's now appreciated. Some celebrated Nolan Ryan, for example, or Mighty Mouse helped to celebrate things. But the point is that they celebrated certain things, and they were sometimes tucked in what we called a newspaper. Many of you probably still know what that is, but if not, Google it. In any case, they were little newsprint comics of various sizes that you got for free. And they were often a lot like I thought these comic books would be like. I thought often they would be free, but nothing but ads. So I felt a waste of my time, really got bored with them. And I'm sorry to say I threw them away because, oh my goodness, they're not appreciating like thousands of dollars. But let's take our little guy here, Mr. Free Comic Book. Okay. in less than just 1 to 2 years. And I don't know, I got last year's free comic book, but over a couple of years, depending on the comic, and sometimes 1 year, sometimes months, I guess, this comic book now free that you picked up and got for free, if it's in mint condition, is worth $3. Not this one. This is 2022. This is the newest one. It's still free. But in a year or two, it could be worth $3. I'm going to let that sink in. That can be worth $3. $3, guys. Holy cats. That's 300% markup that you walked in and you took and you kept. I could not believe this when I saw it in this book. So I highly recommend it. I think for those of you who want to sell your comics, organize your comics, learn more about comics, reach out to these comic advisors, this book is fantastic. Now, it's not inexpensive, but what I will tell you is it's worth it. It's thick, and they got to figure out, they got to put it together. But unless, I'm very hardbound conscious, but what I like about this one is the hardbound has trouble laying flat, and this one lays flat. So in this case, I'm thinking the paperback might be a better choice, but you be the judge. You can go to the publisher and pick it up. And I should have that publisher here for this, for the new one, but unfortunately I don't have it off the top of my head. But just Google Overstreet price guide. Let's see if he's got it. That's one thing that they should have is their it's printed in Canada. It says $29.95 US. You can get an idea that this one was $29.95, but it could go up. But they're printed in Canada, so there you go. They got to come from Canada. But guys, this is a great book. If you are someone out there who's looking to price your comics, looking for advice for your comics, I don't have a lot of comics. I have a few Cerebus the Aardvark, and oh my goodness, those Cerebus the Aardvark comics are worth bank. So if you have Cerebus the Aardvark, especially the ones from the 80s, that's the ones that I was given. I think I was given the first 3 issues from Dave himself, Dave Sim, who did the writing. And I also joined the Friends of Cerebus. For those of you who have been Cerebus fans, he had this club, and I had forgotten all about it. And I have playing cards. I have several autographed notes from him. So I will be talking to the comic book places and see if we can get this to people who will enjoy it, or something like that. But Cerebus the Aardvark, which was a little comic, it did 300 copies. I was like, oh my God, I do not have 300 copies. I have maybe the first 3 or 4 that were given to me when I won the San Diego Comic-Con, when it was about comic books. You used to win a little bit of cash back in the 80s. You won a little bit of cash. You won some items, and one of the items was a couple of the Cerebus the Aardvark comic books, which at the time were not that expensive, and now they are off the chain. They are worth, in some cases, if they're mint condition, and I know mine are, I just got to find them, are probably worth 1,000, maybe a little more, 500. I mean, you know, I got them as a gift from Dave. So, you know, and I have his signature on several things, and people seem to really covet his signature. So I'm really interested in learning more about those. I have Spawn series 1 through something from McFarlane. I don't know that they're anything special, except for that they are very nice and beautiful and well drawn. So are they worth something? I don't know, but this is why I was interested in learning about comic books. Okay, I know I was probably going to say something else. Remind me in the comics. In the comments. I'm going to dinner, as I said, as I'm being honored as a Disney legend at the Disneyana fan club, and I've also got a presentation, and I also have a show on sale. So I am just a little bit, you know. So that's why we're cutting out early, because I'm going to get presentable, and that takes a little bit of work. So there you go. All right, off to you guys. Let's hear what you have to say, and we will sign off when we need to. Thank you for joining me for the short version, and I'm sorry I have to cut it short. It's just tomorrow and Sunday are going to be. I have so much to do. I keep making a list of what I need for each thing that's happening. I mean, if you speak in front of people, you want the presentation to be great. You want to make sure it stays on in the time frame. You don't want to go over, and you see how long I can talk. So I have to really be conscious of that. I'm putting together a script and a show just to make sure. And it won't be a script like, what ho! It just is an outline of what stories I want to tell, which slides I'm presenting. Yeah, so that's kind of how it works. But if you were ever curious. Okay. Okay. Good morning and hello, Diane. She's going to come and see me on Sunday. And if you're coming and seeing me, be sure to shake my hand and say hello. Thank you. Hello. I can't wait to see you Sunday, Francisca. It's very, very exciting. And Tamara says, good morning. Good morning, Tamara. Little Velvet is over my shoulder. She's up there, right there, sleeping. Tamara does beautiful crocheted characters and animals, and she sent me Velvet, my rabbit. My rabbit moves around. Yeah. As does my dragon. So they like to do their own thing. Evan says, I just watched season 1 of Outrageous Pumpkins all in one day. Whoa, while bored at work. Was such a great show, and I would love to hear more about your experience working on it. How cold was it really, and what happened to the pumpkin sculptures at the end of every episode? Also, I really hope it comes back for season 3. I think we have, I have been with the show, Evan, since 2005. One of the judges on, for those of you who don't know, I am a judge on Discovery Channel / Food Network / Turn Card, or Turn Card / Food Network / Discovery Channel. It may go the other way, but the point is that there's a show called The Outrageous Pumpkins, and it's about pumpkin carvers competing for big prizes. And what's interesting about pumpkin sculptors that you want to know is that they can make some good money. If they are really talented at what they do, they can travel all over the world and do some killer carving. So sometimes it's not the money that draws them to the event, but the belt. So season 1, 2, one of those, they came up with this amazing weight belt. And all of the pumpkin sculptors that saw that wrote to production and said, I want in. And it was that belt. So there's a saying in when you're marketing, find what their need is, and then you'll get what you tap it. The money is great. Nobody's saying the money isn't great. Okay. And to you, the viewer, the money is really great, right? But to the sculptors, sometimes it's the bling, and they like having that belt hanging at their booth when they're carving that says that they made #1 in this contest. So it's cool. That weight belt is cool. And Evan, I don't know if the season you watched was the one that had the belt yet. It might have been season 2 that had the belt first, I'm thinking. So when you watch season 2, you'll see what I'm talking about. But season 1 had some great sculptors. And what happens is they put the pumpkins in, they shoot the pumpkins for the beauty shots, which you saw there, and then they go into the pumpkin graveyard. And what happens is when a contestant is eliminated, they walk through that graveyard out. After they're eliminated, they walk through the pumpkin graveyard. It was freezing. We shot that show in Long Island. And one thing about around Halloween, it's not Halloween that we shoot, but around Halloween, that's all I'm going to say. Long Island gets some cold snaps of weather, baby. And wow. There was one day where it was just so cold. We had to work for, and I am a judge, so I'm out there standing for a few minutes, but the carvers are out there for the time that they say. So if it's a 2-hour carve, they're out there carving for 2 hours. If it's a 6-hour carve, they're out there carving for 6 hours. And we had to bring them in so that their hands and limbs could get the circulation back in them. So it's really a tough time. And I love being a judge on the show. The show is amazing. And I hope it returns too. I really, really want to be a part. I hope they will reach out to me and say, come on, let's go. But season 1, they did. And then the one before that, in season 1, you will remember, Evan, that Ray Villafane was my co-judge. Well, in 2005, I judged Ray Villafane. He was actually a contestant, and I was a judge on his competition, which happened indoors in 2005, which wasn't necessarily the most fun for them because slippery guts and things like that. But if you can find that show, it might be under a different title, but Google it, just Ray Villafane TV. He's an amazing sculptor, as you know, and it was great having him. It's great to have him as a judge. Yeah, it's cool. So as you watch the rest of the shows, we can talk about the shows that you've seen, and then hopefully, yes, it will come back. I feel the same. Thank you for bringing that up. Hi, back at you. Hi, Stephen. Good to see you. Good morning, Terry. Finally got to the comic shop yesterday and got 6 free comics. Joseph, was it fun? Did you love the people? Aren't the people cool? You didn't have to pay $5, did you? I still haven't got them, but I did it so you know that if someone tells you you can order them for a penny, I said, they're not going to ship for a penny. I knew this, but they're not available. This shop is close to me, okay? But I couldn't go pick them up because they're closed. So the key is they're going to have a lot of free comic books on their hands, because how many people did this and pay $5 for the comics that you want, right? Who does that? When you can do as Joe did, Joseph, and walk in and get them. That's my attitude right there. I'm thinking that's nuts, you know? But I'll give them my $5 this time because I learned something. And when I learned something, it was worth it to learn something. Unless they don't get to me. We'll see if they get to me. And we'll see if they write anything in the inside. We'll see. More later. Hi, Joe. Happy Festival of St. George tomorrow. George Lucas' birthday. He's turning 78. Yes, and he was at the park on Star Wars Day. I did not get to see him, but my other friends did. And that was fun. So I'm very happy for him. And I hope he has a nice, quiet day if that's what he wants. Happy birthday to George Lucas. That's what you say tomorrow? You guys are so good. Tomorrow, Saturday. That's Terri Hardin Legends Day. I want you to know. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm kidding. Enjoy your Legends Award presentation this weekend. I'm very, very touched and flattered. And it's very sweet of them to do this. They say, you know, if you get it from your fans, it's better than getting it from Disney. But I still want Disney to get a clue. Yes, I deserve to be a legend. I have my work in several of the parks, and that is a criteria. So get on it. Understand, if you don't ask, very few will sometimes. So you just keep, yep. I'm eating my breakfast while we go. That's how short my time is. Forgive me for chewing in front of you. Bob says he's a member of the tribe. Terry says it's so much more than just a site. The support we give each other is heartwarming, and added benefit is Terry shares her talents, life experiences, and truth. Evan Hunter, who you just heard from here, he says that I have a story about everything. And we were talking today about you toss out a subject and see if I have a story about it. We might just do that. I'm going to mention it to my husband because that could be a fun thing to do. So I'm just going to write it down. And then maybe if I'm stumped, you know, something happens. I don't know what, but something. So we're talking about it. We're thinking about it. Whoops, let's clip that so it stays clipped, because pens that are, you know, that kind that need a cap dry out if you don't clip it right. But thank you, Bob. It's so sweet of you to say that. Darren is on the road and he's participating. This is a sweet fellow right here. Happy Friday the 13th. Just by at a I-5 rest area. Oh, well, that's great. And yes, guys, happy Friday the 13th. I forgot. Friday the 13th is one of my best days. So this should be a really, really good day. And a friend of mine who loves the Cheshire Cat had a very good blessing, a Friday the 13th blessing. So think of it as a day of blessings. And I hope you have a great Friday the 13th, Darren. Thank you for reminding me. Ooh, sometimes it can be ooh, and sometimes not, but fun in any case. Joe says, I think it's amazing that you're still talking about Free Comic Book Day almost a week later. Guess it's safe to say that you're a comic book fan now. I got to tell you, it wasn't my plan, except I had people write me and say, Terry, you're not going to believe this. Okay. This is what a couple of the comments afterwards or messages directly to me said. I can't believe it, but I was really just going through my comic book collection, wondering how am I going to get them evaluated? What do I sell them for? How do I keep from being taken advantage of, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Questions I didn't have answered until Free Comic Book Day. And then coming into this comic book pricing guide, which to me is amazing. Now, I hope that I can go to a comic book store at some point in the lull, which they don't seem to have many lulls, some of them, but I'm going to go chat with them and see if they can kind of guide me as to the best way to get comic books evaluated. And we will be looking into the subject. I know it's not a Disney subject, but this is TERRI HARDIN channel, not TERRI HARDIN Disney channel. I know I talk a lot about Disney. That's because I'm a Disney Imagineer, but we can also talk about Ghostbusters. I was very involved in the original of that. Men in Black, Captain EO. I was friends with Michael Jackson up until the day he passed away. There's a million things we can talk about. Google me and you'll see just how many. And I speak on all subjects in all many different ways. But the point is that this is an eclectic channel. This is an unusual channel. And I had to realize that although many YouTube trainings tell you to keep it in a niche, well, this is my channel and this is my niche, like the size of the world. Okay. So it really appeals to those who have an eclectic desire to learn about all kinds of things. And you can ask me to talk about a subject and I'll talk about that subject or help find out. So I have a friend who is selling his comic book collection. He's a very close friend of mine. And he happened to mention he has Cerebus the Aardvarks. Some of them got damaged. And so he was very sad. I mean, of course, if your prize collection get damaged, this is why I sold off my Star Wars collection for quite a bit, because I had nightmares about fire, about flood, about rats, about birds, about bugs. So I sold it to get it to people like all of you out there at an auction so that you could take care of that little piece of my collection that you love so much. And you could just take care of that thing and I don't have to worry about it anymore because it's with somebody who's going to really love and take care of it. And that's the way you feel about your comic book collection, I'm sure. So to answer your question, Joe, I'm a fan, but I'm really eager to learn more. I mean, I woke up and said, is there a time when the Free Comic Book Days comics are collectible? And this guide says, absolutely. Now, $3. Some of them took a few years to be worth $3, or they were $3 and they've held tight at $3. But you got it for free. That's a 300% increase in value. So to me, it's like, I better take better care of these. I shouldn't treat them like they're just free. And, you know, some of them could be valuable. Some of them could mean somebody might want it for some reason. I have no idea what I'm not collecting, so I don't know. I also have some Star Wars comics, and I'm not sure if they're the original old ones, but the original old ones are selling for a truckload of money. So I don't know if they're the original old ones or if they're reprints because I was never into comic books. Okay. So that's what I'm learning. There are many reprints out there. They talk about what the reprints look like compared to the originals. A little fool's gold action, if you will. And this is all good information for those of you who are putting your comic book collections together and trying to evaluate. I also have a cousin who has quite a few comics, and I'd like to find a place for him to meet with someone and look at his comics and give him a good price for them. So I'm just excited. I thought there was one store and you saw that book. These people are willing to fly out and look at your stuff and grade it, but you got to pick the right person. Okay. One of the things is they don't want it to be a cheesy guy. So I'm going to go to these comic book stores and say, if you were going to sell your comics to someone else, who would it be? And I'm going to take that guide. Anybody in here? Anybody? Or you can go on eBay and look at their feedback. Read some of the comics, the comments that people who have sold their comics say. Okay. So that's why I'm into it, Joe. Because I think it means a lot to people. That, I mean, a lot of people have said, I was really concerned and I'm just going through them now. I didn't even know the first place to look. So I have a set of Spawn comics here that I got. I think one is signed by Todd McFarlane, but I'm not sure. And I'd like to get them to someone who would really appreciate them. But I do want to sell them because they were a gift to me, and they were special, and I'd like them to go to somebody who has a little skin in the game. So that's what I feel. Dennis Cowan is a man. Name is pronounced Dennis. He's a Facebook friend of mine. Well, he's featured in last year's price guide. So that's what I'm talking about. I didn't know about these people. And you saw, I don't really know how to pronounce their name, right? So I didn't know if it was female or man because it looked like Denise to me. So Dennis, forgive me if you're watching through Joe. But this is all stuff that I need to learn. And I'm sure if I met you in person, I'd go, well, I doubt his name's Denise. It must be Dennis. But thank you, Joe, for helping me save face on that. Should I ever meet this person? Not that I will, but you just don't know. You just don't know. It's like really surprising that I was this close to Neil Adams and never got to meet him, found out about him after he'd passed away. Would have been nice to say hello and say, wow, I just read about you and holy cats, you were something, and then he'd probably look at me and laugh because he knows he is. Absolutely he did. So, good morning. How are you? Is it Kashif? Boy, it's a beautiful name. C. Riley. Oh man, it's a lovely name. Thank you for saying good morning. Joe says you would probably enjoy some of the smaller comic conventions these days since San Diego Comic-Con has become a huge media event. And it's not about comics. San Diego Comic-Con, the closest thing to comics is San Diego Comic-Con. They just didn't want to change the name. But back in the 80s, it was a small, intimate convention, and I really enjoyed it better. I really don't go. I tried to go during one of these later times when the costume contest, cosplay, whatever you want to call it, lasted days instead of hours. When I was in it, it lasted 2 hours. Now it lasts days. It takes like 8 to 10 hours because so many people enter. It was unbelievable. And the costumes were fantastic. Not that ours weren't, but it's a different world today. It's really, I as a judge, wow, you got a lot to do. I don't even know how judges do it because, first of all, you got to stay awake. But it was very impressive. Very, very impressive. Good morning, Melissa Eiler. How are you? I can't remember whether you're working this weekend, but if you can pop over and see me over at the event, I would love it. In any case, that's the end of the comics. Are there comments? Are there any more questions? You don't have to make it about comics if you like. I do have a few more minutes. And if you want to ask a question, you can. And if not, I will fill the air. And I'll fill it by telling you about the Disneyana fan club event. First of all, in the evening, let me go. First of all, in the evening at 6 o'clock, there is a special dinner honoring me as a Disney legend, and I thank them. It's very sweet that the fans came together and said, it's about time Terry was made a Disney legend. I am a Disney legend. I am a Disney Imagineer. I'm the come here, get away Imagineer. A lot of people want to say former Imagineer, but basically former Imagineer means really that I'm not in-house and I'm not under the Disney umbrella as an Imagineer. I'm what we came to terms is I'm an independent. Okay. Many Imagineers can be independent contractors if they so choose, or if Disney so chooses. So I chose it because I want to keep my company. And when Disney puts you under their official umbrella and makes you an employee, let's talk about that. You need to dissolve your company. I mean, they're a company. They don't want you working. They don't want you riding 2 skis. So I didn't want to be, I was an employee for 10 years. I was the official Imagineer with the card and the silver pass and all that cool stuff. But I opened my own company and they asked me to come back and said, if you want to come back in the same capacity, you're going to need to dissolve your company. And my company is doing very well. So I didn't want to do that. And so I decided that we came to the, I said, how can I help you? And they said, we'll make you a contractor with us. And that is, so when they need me, they open up the box and out I pop. Dook, 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 dook. Hey! And then they have me come and help them get on track. I'm a very fast foam carver. And so they'll bring me in to catch up. That's kind of me, help you catch up. If I'm available. See, that's the other thing. Not always available. So if I'm available, then I come, I help them out. And then they go, put me back in for another day to do. See, it works best for both of us. And I'm very, very proud and happy that that is the connection together. Melissa says, yes, she's working. She goes in at 3 p.m. So maybe she can come see us in the morning, just to maybe join us for lunch or something, Melissa. That could be fun. Buddy Kasif made it. He's very good 3D artist. Yes, Kasif, I have to say to you, Mr. 3D artist, that Joe alerted me that you had wanted to friend me on Facebook. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook except for in my tribe. I pop in when I can to read about you, but you all know that that's a rabbit hole and I have work to do. I'm still trying to watch Yellowstone, but when you don't have time to watch TV and you're watching an episode one at a time at lunch and sometimes fractions thereof, yeah, I'm really got some deadlines that I'm working to get done and I'm not complaining. I'm very, very happy about that. So it was really nice of Joe to message me directly and say, could you accept Kasif's friend request, and glad to have you with the group. If you want to take it to the next level, Kasif, join the tribe. If you want to see what a real amazing group of people are, and they're not all artists, Melissa Eiler, you see here, let me just, right here, who says she's going into work. She works at Disneyland, okay? But that is not her superpower. Everybody has a superpower, Kasif. Hers is she's the great mouse detective. She's going to laugh right now if she's listening. She is the great mouse detective. Anything you need to find, this woman will find it. I'm not kidding. I'm about ready to ask her what happened to my John Horney illustration I was going to show Audrey. I've got one that's very special and I put it in a safe place and I can't find it. So now that I've spoken it out loud and Melissa has heard it, she's going to use her magical powers and I know I'm going to find it. I know I will, because she is the great mouse detective and she can do it. She also gives cleaning tips because that's what she does. She cleans. And being an artist is not necessarily painting, drawing, sculpting. Being an artist, being passionate about what you do. And she's a true artist in this respect. So all walks of life on the tribe, patreon.com/Terri Hardin. I urge you to check it out. If you really want some infusion of energy, my tribe can light New York. Okay. We have got so much support and energy for each other. It is amazing. I go there. If I'm a little bit tired, it all goes away because these people are so generous, so giving, so loving. And if you're wondering why the spark of comics, that's because of tribe member Chris McCauley, who for the first time in a while got to go back to Ireland and see his family. So it's all kinds of stuff. And so I really hope that you join us. Just check it out. $5 a month, $60 a year. I guarantee you we over deliver. It's just so you have skin in the game. Okay. Just so you have skin in the game. And being an amazing 3D artist, we'd love to see what you got. But if it's not for you, just point me in a direction where I can see it. Okay. I keep wondering why Joe hasn't joined the tribe. Yeah. Just between you and us. Okay. So thank you for that, Joe. Bob Burdine, good luck, kiddo. I have to go. Lots of love and support for you. Now, Bob Burdine will meet me tomorrow. He's coming to see me get my award. And he's another great guy, another person who is in the tribe. Bob's superpower is how to be philanthropistic, how as an artist, you're generous, Participation in charity events can move you forward doing what you love, if that's what you want to do. That's what he helps us with. And it's not like everybody's on Zoom going, yeah, guru, man. Nah, it's really fun. It's really a fun thing. And if you join the tribe and you find out it's not for you, guess what? You can unjoin. We don't handcuff you. So no, you can, it can be fun. What's your most prized Star Wars collectible that you didn't part with? Well, there's some I would like to part with, but I have an original Dawn Post Wookiee mask that I really love. That I was thinking maybe I should put up for auction because, how long can a Wookiee mask last? But it really is cool. The very, very first Wookiee mask that they did in the 70s and 80s, late 70s and 80s. Yeah, I have that one. And then I have a poster signed by David Prowse, the original Darth Vader, not the voice. That was, who the voice was, and Anthony Daniels. And I think maybe Kenny Baker signed it, but I'm not sure. I can't guarantee that. But it hung out in front of the Chinese Theater in Hollywood for a year. And then they opened the big display area, pulled it out. It's all torn around the edges. It's huge. So it's filed away and it's there. I love it. But it's something that it really needs to go to a good home. Steve Sansweet, who has one of the biggest collections, bought a very rare poster that was sent to me after I stood in line for 3 days waiting for Empire Strikes Back. Yet another story. But he bought it from me. He came to evaluate my collection only to find out he was going to buy something. And I knew he would because he has the largest collection. And I knew that if I could give him a price that he could afford to buy it and put it in his collection, that he would, and he did. We came to an agreement, and I'm sure it's beautifully displayed in his collection. I would love to go up and see the stuff, but I'm sure it is. I said, please put my name. Thanks to Terri Hardin, found it, just so my name's attached to it a little bit. That's usually what I like. I also have the art of Star Wars. I have a few Star Wars art books that I couldn't part with. Art of Empire Strikes Back, Art of Star Wars, Art of Jedi. Do I have Jedi? I'm trying to see because I think they're behind me. Maybe not. But books are the toughest thing for me to part with. Actually, Darren, I'm a sucker for a good book. My husband knows it because they're everywhere, including behind me. Right there. And this shelf goes all the way down. And then behind this coat right here, this is an entire shelf. Let me just rock my hand right. Entire shelf of amazing, spectacular, phenomenal books. There's one that has nothing to do with Star Wars, but J.R.R. Tolkien book based on The Hobbit. And you remember that it had forgive me if I'm talking into the bookshelf. It had a cellophane or a plastic, like breakable, and I still have it with the breakable part on it. Yes. So I have a lot of wonderful books and manga books, and because I just, I'm a book nut. Yeah, I really am. I really do love it. Michelangelo's my favorite, so I have the letters of Michelangelo right now. It could be, I don't know what it's worth, but it's worth a lot to me. I love the Doré Bible. Do you know Doré? He used to do prints, beautiful religious stuff. I have not only a Doré Bible, which took years to find. If I had known Melissa, she would have found it in 2 minutes. But I also have, they made other books on Doré that are paperback that I have worn to almost a crisp because I love the pieces of it. So the Star Wars, I think the most Star Warsy thing I have, there might be more. I have not gone into my garage in a long time, so I can't tell you for sure. But I do have a lot. I also have the very first Star Wars Monopoly game. I went in the other day and found that they have, like, what is it, at a comic book store and toy store, there was like one based on now, and it was, I don't know how many Star Wars Monopolies that is, but I have the very, very first Star Wars Monopoly game unopened. I have several of those, and I think I'm probably going to put that up for the tribe to get them one of those, make a drawing for them to have that. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. So there you go. It's hard to say because uh, one of the things that I don't part with, as far as Star Wars is concerned, is the time I spent with George Lucas. I do have the Skywalking book, which I won't part with because I'm on page 3, talking about having seen it 181 times. So, oof, gotta pay attention. I'm getting away from myself because I'm getting so excited about what you're saying. She's laughing. Yes, Melissa's laughing because she is the great mouse detective. I'm telling you, we got to get a logo going, and I got to make some stickers. I'm thinking we got, this is a brand. She wasn't prepared for it. She was sharing cleaning tips on the tribe, and then I needed her to help me find something very important to my husband. And I told her ears must be buzzing because she found it like this. I bought it right away. Okay, because my husband had been looking for months for this cup that's from, he loves 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and this cup had the Nautilus on it. It's brown, has the Nautilus on it. She found it right away. And boy, that cup has a high tension wire around it, so it will not get chipped again. It had a chip the size of my little fingernail, and it was driving him crazy. And so we got a nice pristine cup, and I wrote to the person and said, thank you for allowing me to purchase this. And I thanked the great mouse detective. So, like I said, you may find, see, I have this Nautilus shirt on. So, yeah, he's really into the Nautilus, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And this cup had the Nautilus on, and he really loves the way it's shaped, the colors of it, everything. And she helped me find it that fast. So sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And there's a guy that found me through this group that joined, Joe Mino. He's a Lego expert, I think, in my humble opinion. I believe he's a brilliant person. And he mentioned to the tribe that he had lost his job, or was about to lose his job, or about having a change. Okay. With the pandemic, we all went through a change. Let me just say that Joe said there's a big change coming, and I'm kind of looking to see what I can do to earn money. And he did these beautiful drawings. And now you're going to see more of his work because he's starting to do this and get paid for it. So not necessarily as a job, but as an entrepreneur. So if this is you out there wondering if you need some help from not just me, but a huge arc of people from all walks of life who are artistic in each endeavor that they do, Terry's Tribe is for you. $5 a month, $60 a year. So there you go. Yeah. Tribe is truly magical, she says. Yeah. And that's because she's in it. Joe hasn't joined the tribe yet because Joe is broke. Oh, bless your heart, Joe. Well, soon you won't be. And when you're not, come and see us, okay? Because you have a lot to say that I think they would really enjoy hearing from you, which is why I push you so much. One day you need to tell us about playing Magenta in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, screening at the old Tiffany Theater in West Hollywood back in the day. Yep. Ask me that next Friday when I have time, and I'll be, well, I don't know if I'm going to be here next Friday, guys, because I'm in Texas. So I don't know if I'm going to be broadcasting next week. That was the other thing I wanted to tell you, is I don't know. So stay tuned. I wish I could tell you but I don't know. My day is a full day there, but it's a different full day because they're 2 hours later. So maybe we'll see. But if I can't do it, I will tell you all about it the following time. But the next Friday I do broadcast. Joe, bring it up, and maybe I'll even dig up pictures. But yeah, I was at a convention for Star Wars, and my friend said, you want to go see this Rocky Horror Picture Show? It's really fun. It's participating. They were showing it at the convention near the LAX airport. And I saw it and flipped out. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. I wanted to be riffraff, but of course, Magenta was the next best thing. So thank you. Just keep that in your, and we'll talk about it. I get it. I'm a book collector too. Yeah, I'm obsessed. Lindsay is just like, please don't make me build more shelves, Terry. I mean, there's books everywhere. I love them. That one, Disney Wars, I got Bob Gurr's book that's like worth a gazillion dollars. Bob Gurr being the guy who designed just about every mechanical thing in Disneyland. And he only produced this book once. And in it, he talks about a book called Disney Wars, and that book is so good. I got it at a thrift store somewhere, and that book just so good. So you get, people who told me their brothers have written a book. Please, my client whose father wrote a book, he was an airman. I went, I want it, especially if it's attached to somebody that knows somebody in the descendants. I get so excited about meeting people who other people have written books. So yeah, I'm a book squid. Yes, I am. By the way, just heading into the grapevine, Darren's giving me his his ETA to Anaheim because he's coming down. Diane, look at her. It goes on your credit card. We have so much fun in our private Facebook group. Diane, she is absolutely, some people are so cute. They come on a Zoom call and they're there and they're adorable, but sometimes they don't talk. They listen to us like a podcast. You're perfectly welcome to do that and type in the chat. Luckily, I've got people like the amazing Leo Holzer, who is also in our tribe. Very nice, can read the chat, because I tend to look at you and look for people to go like this on the Zoom call. But Leo or Darren will say, so-and-so says in the chat, they have a question. And I go, yay. Everybody covers each other. And it's just a beautiful group. Thank you, Diane, for saying that. It's just wonderful. Well, guys, it's time for me to go. I have got so much to do. If you are joining me Saturday and Sunday, or if you'd like to join me on one of those days, please go to the DisneyAnnaFanClub.org, DisneyAnnaFanClub.org, and it will tell you all about it. Or you can search them on Facebook. I'm sure they announced it also on their Facebook page. I really, really hope you can come and see us if you're a collector and love all things Disney and sometimes a few other cool things. I remember when I was there one time that I got this Robo Mickey, who I just adore. I couldn't resist him. I saw a Robo Mickey and it reminded me of something that a friend of mine did. I just had to have him. So really unique and interesting things that are Disney, because collectors are selling to you collectors. So you get to have knowledge as well, a lot like some comic book people. So I really, really think you guys are wonderful, fabulous. I'm off to try and take care of my toilet paper roll list of things I've got to do to get ready for tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Oh my gosh. If it was just dinner, I'd be fine. But I'm doing a presentation too. And that takes planning. You don't just jump up on stage and start yakking. Well, I could if I was thrown up. I mean, if I was put up there and thrown up, dear goodness, you see what I mean? But you got to plan it so that you're on, you got it on time. And many of you would rather not speak, okay? Public speaking is the scariest thing. So what a joke is that if people are speaking at a funeral, most people would rather be in the coffin than the one speaking at the funeral. So there you go. There's my little hee for then. And there you go. But it's all going to be great. I'm very excited about it. It just takes a lot of work, as you know. And when you want to deliver the best, you got to practice, right? You got to figure out what you're going to do. That's it. And that's what I'm doing. Okay. Melissa says, drive safe. Thank you, sweetheart. You too. Congratulations on your Disneyland Legend Award. See you at the show and sale on Sunday. Mwah. See you too. And Joe says, congratulations. Enjoy yourself. And you too. I'm excited. You should. I got some ideas for you too. All right. I love you. Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. I will see you Monday and we'll talk about what the weekend was like, or you can watch me snoring. Okay. Bye for now. Take care. Have a good week.